overindulgence in things in life and pleasures and all the beautiful things could come very, very handy because what could happen is that you overindulge, that you go over excessive with the things in your life that you enjoy, and this can cause problems. Welcome to the aspect of the two benefic planets, Venus and Jupiter, coming to a square with each other. Not only that, but the sun is going to oppose Mars, which could cause, well, some power struggles, some egoic struggles that could be possible for us as a menu item on the table that could be the shadows of what we could experience with the sun opposite Mars. This is just a taste in the astrology that I'm going to be discussing in this video, talking about the astrology of January 14th and 15th. Let's first get into this Venus square Jupiter aspect occurring on the 14th of January. The very, very first thing to know about this is that it brings abundance and joy. It brings blessings in your life. That's what it brings. It's a good time to explore your values and beliefs, especially the Jupiter energy, because Jupiter rules your beliefs, the things that you believe about you, yourself, your life, your destiny, your purpose. That's Jupiter's job is to remind you if your beliefs are in alignment with your true self or not. And it asks you to really, really consider your beliefs. That is what it is all about, really investigating into your beliefs. The next thing here is all about self-understanding and compassion. These having self-understanding and having compassion can be allies for you in your life. This aspect is very, very good for having fun, for partying, for enjoying life, for going out of the town, for making the most of life. Not so good for working hard. You may find it more difficult to find the motivation to go to work and do what you need to do and shop and carry water. So that might be a potential pitfall and a challenge with this particular aspect. So that is something to note as you may want to have fun. And I would encourage you to do the fun things first, then do the work that way you can focus on the more important tasks at hand, which is your work after you've allowed yourself to indulge in the fun things. And then maybe indulge a little bit, work, and then save the rest as a reward for later. It's both and here. It's not either or. So indulge before the work and after the work. That is the strategy to go on. It's about that Greek philosophy of both and, not either or. And so this is all about our actions and words and how our actions and words impact those people around us. How is it working out for you? How are your words impacting the people in your life? How are your actions impacting what is going on in your life? That becomes very, very important to look at. It's very, very important to balance how much you're enjoying with how much you're overindulging and moderate yourself if need be. If you notice, if you have the self-awareness to say, this is a time when I'm overindulging. I'm recognizing this, I'm naming it, I'm claiming it, I'm facing the truth of what it is. So that is where you can really, really go to very positive, uplifting levels with this particular transit. You may be tempted to overdo it, whatever it is, be it food, overworking yourself, whatever it may be. Do not give in to the temptation to overdo it. This is also asking you to really, really reflect on what nourishes your soul beyond the immediate gratification and the pleasure centers and the pleasure systems that are in place in your life. What truly nourishes your soul. Do what feels good to your soul, not your ego mind. That is where you can find the most alignment. If it doesn't feel fulfilling or doesn't resonate on a soul level, toss it aside and choose to do the things that feel good on a soul level. It's very, very important. This is all about approaching others with humility and openness as well. Open-mindedness, open-heartedness. A conservative attitude is needed. Problems will arise. This is very, very Populusis. So the Populusis thing is that if your attitude is conservative, you're likely to want to break the shell, have fun, relax, party, liberate yourself. Problems will arise if you try to do what is traditionally conservative or traditional or by the book, because there's this need to do it differently. There's this need to innovate it um, more. And so this is a very, very important thing to be wary of, not lowering your standards in relationships, because it can be very, very tempting to lower your standards in relationships because of the Venus Jupiter energy of ease, the trine energy of ease, of the square energy, because Venus is square Jupiter. So it may make it easy to want to lower your standards because you genuinely want connections, but do not lower your standards in relationships. This is very, very, very important. You also feel the need to indulge at this point in time, but remember, do not go to excess. Do not go over that amount of indulgence. It's very, 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 very important. That comes as something that is really important. So it's important to be discerning about the types of relationships that you allow into your life, being mindful not to lower your standards. You may also feel the need to indulge at this time as well. Be careful. Do not overspend on the luxury items that you want. If you see a bunch of things that you want, moderate yourself, pace yourself as much as you can, have self-discipline. It's very, very important to put limitations on yourself that you're not overspending at this time. Ellipticitis is in the making, truly, with what it is. So let's move on to the next aspect. The moon in Leo, as soon as it enters Leo, it immediately opposes Pluto. So, what does it mean when we have the moon opposite Pluto? Well, the thing about this is that you may feel the need to act on impulse with whatever you're doing. The impulse, the desire to act on impulse is very, very strong. So, that may be something worth taking a look at. This is good for cultivating a mindfulness practice, doing meditation, journaling, whatever it is, your mindfulness practice is good for this time. Do not use guilt and possessiveness to achieve your goals. Be very, very mindful of this. How can you turn your challenges and the obstacles that you face on a daily basis into sources of personal growth? What is the lesson? What is the positive coming out of this obstacle? What is the positive coming out of this challenge that you can really, really think about in your life? It's very important to avoid making decisions when you're not centered. It is really, really critical for you to be centered, logical, um, grounded, pragmatic when it comes to making the important decisions. Because if you're not any of those things, you need to get into those states of being for you to be able to make the best decisions in your life. It's very important also to not be manipulative, to be mindful of manipulative tendencies or the need to be manipulative in order to gain your power. Let this go. Flush it down the toilet. This is a time for significant transformation. This is what it is. Transformation is what is called for because that's what Pluto rules is transformation. Dark, edgy, and taboo topics may interest you at this time, so it's good to go those routes. And your emotions and personality become more intense. You start to notice that you feel more intense and you come across as more intense. So being mindful to show your intense personality in ways that serve your highest good. How can you utilize this intense energy versus how can you utilize it in ways that is really, really destructive and very downtrodden? So let's move on to the oracle cards that I chose for um, January 14th from the Mystical Healing Oracle by Ida Siegel. And the first card that I chose is Explore Your Ancestry. And the second card is Assimilate Life Experience. So it's very, very important to look at what is holding you back from being who you were truly meant to be. Is it a person? Is it a situation? Whatever it is, let that go and be who you truly are. What, who is of your parents' line that is limiting your growth and maturity? Who in your life or in your past, like family history, talking, has ruined your life, has set you up for failure, has limited your growth and maturity? Things like selfishness, rudeness, guilt, manipulation, pushiness, controllingness, and harshness. These negative qualities may have come into your life at some point in time. It's important to recognize your shadow-like tendencies, and when you express your shadow tendencies, this is very, very important that you understand how these shadow tendencies work, and that you do not become a victim and a martyr to your shadow-like tendencies, that you recognize them, nip it in the bud, and do not express these tendencies. Are you overwhelmed by the constant chaos in your life, by the constant drama in your life? This becomes a very, very big issue to consider. And what are you taking in, and how is it affecting you on an emotional, on a physical, on a spiritual level? How is what you're taking in affecting you? And do you like the way it affects you? Really, really facing that truth of how it affects you and choosing to surround yourself with loving, caring, compassionate, exciting events that lift you up, that inspire you, that motivate you to be better, instead of things that hinder your growth, things that pull you down, etc., etc., etc. And do you like the way that these things affect you, or do you not like the way these things affect you? It's very important to let go of any draining experiences from your life. Very, very important. and then do a review of your life. Really, really take a look at, your life and reviewing it for your past or finishes. So let's move on to January 15th. We're going to talk about the aspect which is the moon in a sextile with Jupiter. The thing that's really beneficial about this, the moon sextiling the great benefic, is that it gives you a great understanding of others at a deeper level. So understanding them at a deeper philosophical level, as opposed to a deeper underworld level. This is great for engaging in group activities, collaboration, engaging in partners and teams and groups of things. Very good. This is good for connecting with the core of others' experiences. Really, really taking a look at others' experiences and connecting to that or relating to others, finding common ground, finding similarities, finding relationships, finding um, upholstering interactions with other people. This is good to reflect on your experiences and how they have shaped your perspectives. This is very, very important at this time. It's important to set healthy boundaries with optimism and practicality. Setting boundaries when not becoming overly optimistic or overly impractical. Make sure that you're not overdoing these things. It's important to stay as grounded and realistic as you possibly can. This is really, really critical that you're grounded and you're realistic about your decisions about the things that you need to do in your life. There comes a heightened sense of well-being, may make you overlook subtle cues of discomfort of yourself and others. So being mindful, this is very, very critical. It's important if you feel stressed or if you feel fatigue to not ignore these signs, but honor them and take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your soul. Do what soothes yourself, do what nourishes yourself on this count. This is about seeking out opportunities to inspire and uplift others. Seeking out these opportunities. Very good. And using your perspective, your perceptive skills to benefit communities and groups of people, friends and loved ones. This is also a really, really good part of this. Now, the Sun is going to oppose Mars, which marks the midpoint of the Mars retrograde that we're currently living under. So, with this energy, with the Sun in an opposition to Mars and Cancer, um, first of all, the passive aggressiveness is going to be high. That's the very, very first signature. But infinitile, what this means is that your behavior will feel as if it's driven by unconscious motivations. That's something to really, really take a look at. This is about understanding the roots of your frustrations and as well, really understand where your frustrations come from, what are their origin, what are their roots, where do they originate from. Really, really coming face to face with that is very, very important indeed. And anger can be a great teacher for you. Learn its lessons, whatever lessons that anger is trying to teach you in your life. This is the time to learn from those lessons. Is it making you roll the ball up the hill? Is it making you pull that pamphlet out of the shelf? Whatever it is, that lessons that it's trying to teach you. And you may feel more assertive in your workplace where you're wanting to assert yourself, where you want to stand up for yourself. There's a lot of energy, but not a certain place to direct it at. You may have a lot of energy and a lot of motivation, but not a clear direction as to, I, I want to take this path and I want to direct my energy over here. you're sort of scattered, you want to direct your energy in multiple places. So it's important to find a direction to express all the energy and motivation that will come up at this time when this opposition occurs. This is truly about asserting yourself in a way that respects others' boundaries while honoring your own needs. This is very, very important. You respect others' boundaries, and you also respect your boundaries and honor your needs and do the self-care things in your life. You wanting to do things your own way can cause problems and struggles at this time. You wanting to um, you know, do things independently, do things your own way, that kind of thing, that can cause some issues. It's important to be careful of not overshaping boundaries at work or not overstepping boundaries at work. Draw your boundaries. Do not allow others to overstep your boundaries, and do not cross your own boundaries. It's very, very important as well. And you'll probably need to collaborate with others. This is not the time where going it alone, doing it independently is going to work for you. You may find yourself in a situation where you have to collaborate. You have to get together. You have to talk. You have to discuss. You have to work with other people. That may come up, and you need to be willing to do that in your life. You need to be willing. Put your focus on what the other people want, what they need, including what you want and you need, and working together, collaborating is what this possibly turn into. So the ability for collaboration becomes really, really strong right now. Your ego may get in the way of accomplishing your goals. That is, accomplishing the goals that your soul wants to achieve. Your ego might get in the way. It's not your ego driving the ship, it's your soul. The ego serves the soul, not the other way around. And you may be facing tension in your relationships. That may be a possible thing that may just come up. Another aspect we have going on is that the moon will square Uranus. So anything conventional, anything by the book, anything traditional, in terms of duties and obligations, may seem really limiting right now. This is a time to break free from any constraint or any routine that is limiting, that is boring, that is humdrum, low down, all that kind of thing. And this is the time to embrace your unique perspectives, which can be very, very empowering, to accept your perspectives, to recognize your perspectives, and to share your perspectives of the world with others. Name and claim those perspectives. You may find that your feelings are further electrified at this point in time. That's something that you may be feeling as well with this electric energy. And so it's important to not confuse impulsivity with intuition, not confuse um, your impulses, your impulsive, desires, the things you want to do, an impulse with your intuition, because those two are very, very different things. Choose to trust your intuition, not your unconscious impulses. And you feel a need to rebel against routines or limitations in general. You feel this need to rebel, make a drifter wave, whatever it may be. And you may feel the need to break important structures of stability in your life, and you may do this. You may break apart these structures that are very helpful for you if you're not careful. Moods may shift more than usual now. You may have mood swings. It may be hard to resist anything new and exciting in your life. So allow yourself to indulge in what is new and exciting. Do not become impulsive or make hasty decisions. Think through your choices before you make them. Think before you act. This is very, very important that you don't act on impulse at this time. And this generally presents an opportunity to explore and embrace diverse aspects of your identity, free from societal norms and expectations. And the next aspect is the moon will trine Chiron around 20 degrees of Aries and Leo. So the moon is at around 20 degrees of Leo, Chiron's at in Aries. These are both fire signs. So this is about self-wounds, wounds of not being allowed to fully be yourself, to fully be who you truly are and truly want to be. You may want to explore and healing, the exploration and the healing of deep emotional wounds comes up as a really, really big issue now. You may be more tuned to your emotional needs and sensitivities at this point in time. So, being more in tune with these things may be very, very populosis. How have your emotional wounds shaped your relationship with yourself and your attitude towards abundance and self-worth? How have your wounds shaped your viewpoints on abundance and self-worth? These wounds of not being worthy to experience all the abundance and blessings in your life. It's important to send self-love and compassion towards your vulnerabilities. This is very, very important to, be vulnerable and send love and compassion in that direction. It's very important to bring creative and intuitive energy to your past wounds and traumas as well. You may find security and comfort through a deep processing of emotions. So, through processing your emotions, through processing your feelings, you're finding comfort through this that could come up. And showing your sensitive and vulnerable nature, as others are drawn to you as an authentic and caring person. It's good to show this part of yourself and not be afraid of showing that part of yourself. What part of yourself do you need to embrace that you haven't embraced yet? What part of yourself do you need to accept that you haven't accepted yet? The moon will sextile Black Moon Lilith. This is an opportunity to let out repressed emotion and follow your intuition. It's the very, very first thing. Is letting this emotion out of the cage, out of the prison that you put it in, and allow it to guide your intuition. Allow that wisdom to really, really guide you in your life. Follow your instincts, even if you have to reject the status quo of your life. Even if you just have to flip the whole table over or to flip your life over. This is a time to follow your instincts, to trust your gut, to trust your intuition, even if it means breaking away the status quo, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it breaks apart so many important pillars in your life, like your bookcase, your kitchen, your living room, whatever it is. You're breaking apart from this to innovate your life, to create a better life for yourself. There is an increased sensitivity to deep-seated feelings as well at this time. And the nurturing qualities of the moon blend effortlessly with the raw and primal energy of Lilith. This may bring about enhanced intuition and psychic awareness as well. And the oracle cards that I chose were, first of all, card number 3, which is perfect considering I was talking about vulnerability. Part is awakening it, awakening your vulnerability. And card number 15, ground yourself. This is all about getting into your body. This is what this is, getting into your body, grounding, whatever you can to connect with your body, to connect with your soul. You can gain tremendous insight and strength when you connect to your body. Everything will work out at the proper time when it needs to. Everything will work out when it needs to at the proper time that it needs to. Others will trust you and offer you tremendous opportunities if you ground yourself. So the more opportunities will open up for you in your life if you can first begin by grounding yourself. That's very, very important. And if you're used to living in your head, grounding yourself and connecting with your body might be more challenging. But this is really where the magic happens, is when you ground into yourself. In terms of vulnerability, this takes courage to be vulnerable, to really sit and be with your feelings. It takes courage and it takes a willingness that not everybody has. And sometimes it can be something that's not for the faint of heart. Integration is really what this comes down to. Connecting deeply with your soul. Vulnerability can help you connect deeper with your soul and your soul need, wants, and desires. It's important to have compassion for your emotions and emotional tendencies. Have compassion for if you beat yourself up. Have compassion for self-judgment. Have compassion for you feeling sad or depressed or bored in your life. Having compassion for whatever it is that you're feeling can be a step in a better direction. You know, reminding yourself that you're going to be okay, that it's going to be okay, that you are okay. This is what comes to mind here is really. It's important to draw boundaries um, towards certain people that don't serve you in your life. And it's important to allow the people that do serve you and will help your soul grow, allow them into your life. Exhaustion and frustration come as a result of continuing to repress your feelings. So if you continue to repress your feelings, you'll feel frustrated and exhausted. So just feel them and relax. It's important to get in touch with what is occurring inside your body. It's very, very important to connect with your body, ground into your body at this time. So that is your astrology and oracle card readings for January 14th and 15th. Let me know what you like about this video down in the comments below. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now, everybody.